Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanan Shalakaya Chaksurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Stadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Narayanam Gurum Vande Sharanyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gauramanu Purnam Radhadasyam Pradayakam Rupanugacharya Varyam Rupamanjari Prishtakam Patita Pavana Bandhavam Yugacharya Narayanam Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tuise Namaha Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Smirahasara Murali Manohara Radhikara Sikamam Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vrindai Tulasi Devyai Priyai Keshavasacha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I begin offering my most humble obeisances to the dust of the lotus feet of Paramaradatama Sri Guru Pada Padma, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivraja Kacharya Ashtotara Sata Shisrimad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Shila Gurudev, and also to my most worshipable Shikshan Sannyasa Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivraja Kacharya Ashtotara Sata Shisrimad Shila Bhakti Vigyana Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to all Shirupano Gauriya Guru Varga, to all Tridandis Sannyasis, Brahmacharis, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, and to all the assembled devotees here today, my most respectful obeisances. So by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudeva and all Mahabhagavatas Acharyas, we are able to assemble here one more time. So today we continue reading from Sri Gopi-gita, verse number 11. Chalasyad braja charayam pashum nalina sundaram natate padam shilatrinam kure sidati tina kalilatang mana kantagachati. O Master, O Beloved, when you leave Braj to take the cows and other animals out to graze, the soles of your feet, which are more tender than a lotus, must suffer great pain from sharp pebbles, grasses, and the edges of dry grains. When we think about this, our minds become very agitated. So in this verse, gopis are going to speak about their pain regarding Krishna's um, so-called, injuries in his lotus feet, which actually never happened. But in Gopi's heart, Krishna is always in danger. They're always thinking that something can happen to him, especially when he's walking in the very, rough soil of Vrindavan forest. So then now the commentary of Srila Gurudeva, Bhava Prakashika Vritti. The gopis say, it is not that you give pain only to others. You give pain to yourself as well. And because of this, we become full of sorrow. Here, the gopis imply that Krishna has such a strong desire to give them pain that he gives himself pain, knowing that they will feel it. They say, when you go cow herding with your friends, you roam the forest, which is covered with sprouts of rice, wheat, and grass that are sharper than needles. Yet your lotus feet are more tender and soft than a delicate lotus flower. Surely these sharp sprouts cause you pain. This very thought disturbs our minds and we become restless. So now you can see how is Gopi's state of consciousness. Gopis are saying that Krishna is suffering by walking with his tender lotus feet on the surface of the forest, which many like sharp objects. But the gopis are also saying that Krishna is doing that purposefully to cause pain to the gopis when they become worried by thinking about that. So gopis say that Krishna is even capable of giving him pain just to give pain to the gopis. So that is the, what to say, completely, how can I classify this? This is Gopi's state of complete madness. Hmm. They are thinking like so one thing on top of the other. Hmm. And even coming to the point that Krishna is um, like willingly causing pain to himself just to cause pain to the gopis. Hmm. So the word Kalila means confusion leading to sorrow. This is the state of gopis now. They are in confusion and they are consequently in sorrow. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has revealed a special meaning to quarrel. He explains that the gopis' words can be interpreted in another way, in which case they say, Kalilatam means our mind incites, la, arguments, Kali, and we are thus absorbed in fighting with our own minds. Hmm. He describes how the gopis quarrel with their mind and their mind retaliates. So all this is actually in between gopis and gopis' own mind. They are giving their reason, and the minds are creating the argument, and then they are like this quarreling with their own minds. And so this word Kali, Kali means quarrel, the age of quarrel. This is Kali Jug. This is the same word. Okay. So the gopis say, "Oh mind, if Krishna's feet truly feel pain when he goes cow herding, then why does he go out every single day?" So they establish one premise, and they want to refute that premise, which actually wrong premise. But because they're not considering that to be wrong, they're just creating a type of argument on top of the false premise. Okay, so if this really hurts him, he would not go out. Why do you uselessly bother worrying about him? Then now their mind is coming to sense and say, no, look, this has no sense at all. How can you say that he's causing pain to himself? This is doesn't make any sense. This is just your excessive like worries about Krishna. And gopis say, oh mind, no, sorry. Then their mind and heart replies, oh foolish cowherd girls, you cannot understand how Krishna's feet are softer than lotus flowers, but you should know that they are extremely tender. Surely pebbles, stone chips, and sharp plant shoots pierce his delicate lotus feet, and he feels pain. When I contemplate this, I become engulfed in sorrow. The gopis say, "O mind, O heart, Krishna does not step on these things. He has eyes, so he avoids all sharp objects that cause pain. He walks on the very soft sand." Then, it's not like that, their mind retorts. The cows do not have the sense to walk only on a soft and sand and grass. They run here and there. The mind continues. Often, hmm, treading on those sharp stones, Krishna follows them. And the gopis say, it is true that those cows have no intelligence, but Krishna has eyes, so why would he run on stones and sharp sprouts that would hurt his feet? And their mind replies, you do not have the slightest trace of love. If you did, you would know that when Krishna runs after the cows, he has no time to consider where he is going. He simply runs throughout Vrindavan, not even noticing the sharp stones. They definitely pierce his feet, and I cannot bear that thought. Now, considering that their heart and mind are telling the truth, the gopis say, perhaps Brahma has given us this birth as gopis just to suffer all these miseries. To this, their mind replies, O unhappy gopis, yes, perhaps he has. And in that case, you should suffer. You can remain alive to suffer. You can remain here and tolerate Krishna's pain. As far as I am concerned, accompanied by your life heirs, I am abandoning your bodies. And when I do, you will die. The gopis tell Krishna, you repeatedly torment us with suffering, both in meeting and separation. When you enter the forest to herd your cows, we feel unending grief due to separation from you. There are many cows running in every direction, and to stop them from straying, you follow them and with great effort try to gather them together. You run along rough, uneven paths without stopping for a moment, and as you do, rough grains and other sharp objects pierce your lotus feet. When we think of this, we drown in sorrow, unable to maintain our patience. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur reveals the deep import of the gopis' words. They mean to say, cows are only animals. They have no wisdom, nor do they have the power to think. Krishna will follow us no matter where we go. His feet will get hurt, and he will not be able to stop to rest. If they understood this, they would not run here and there on rough, uneven pathways. They are mere animals and have neither intelligence nor discrimination. Now the gopis say, these stones, sharp grasses, and sprouts may penetrate your feet, but they do not penetrate your heart. They penetrate ours. We feel pain because you are our Nath and our Kanta. Kanta means lover, but much more than lover. Nath generally refers to a beloved, but in this case it means giver of pain. So when the gopis say, oh Nath, they're actually saying, oh, you who always gives us pain. So now here gopis, they are clearly um, stating that those type of thorns which are piercing Krishna's feet are actually piercing the heart of gopis. Mm. And we find here another meaning of the word not, different from what we read in the very first verse and second verse. Here, nata means the one who gives pain. Mm. It's like opposite meaning of beloved, the ones who gives pleasure. So Krishna says, do not be anxious about my feet. Just forget about any discomfort you think I may be feeling. And the gopis reply, but you are our beloved. We cannot stop thinking about it. If a husband or beloved does not return from a place that the expected time, his dear wife or sweetheart cannot help but worry that some calamity has occurred and she may not see him again. She becomes very distressed, only to find out later that all is well. Similarly, the gopis express their mood. You are our beloved, so we are bound to feel like this. If our hearts felt no love for you, we would not feel any pain. Our attachment for you is the root of all our sorrow, but at the same time, it is our natural tendency. The gopis' words are perfectly true. It is only because of attachment that one feels sorrow and pain. They continue. Our attachment for you is the guilty party. We know we should have no love and affection for you, but the fact is that we do not have it. So, what shall we do? Now, our earnest prayer to you is that you please remove this attachment from our heart. So, the gopis, they see no exit, they see no way to escape. Krishna is going to walk in the forest, they can't avoid that. They can't stop Krishna. He's going to perform all his activities as it is. Seems that he does not care for their pain because his pleasure is greater than uh, means his pleasure is like his priority, not Gopi's pleasure. And Gopis, because they are servants, they have to face that. They have to accept that. Krishna is not going to change his way just because they want. So now, becoming hopeless, what Gopis are saying? Gopis are saying, okay, if we cannot change you, if we cannot change our behavior, please just do one thing. Remove from our hearts the attachment we have for you. So it's better not to love you at all. It's better not to have any relation with you. Then we will not suffer. Because suffering or not, you're not changing your behavior. If we are suffering or not suffering, uh, for you doesn't matter. That's what gopis are saying here. Doesn't matter for Krishna. He's going to continue his lila, his routine, and his programs, whatever he's doing. So now gopis, they are completely like, hopeless. Okay, so just remove from our heart. Before, we have read all these shlokas previously, and in mostly in each and every shlok, gopis are asking Krishna for something. Oh, please put your hand in our head, put your feet in our breasts, uh, give us your sidelong glances, speak with us like in a sweet way. So many things they're asking. Now, finally, in this verse, they're asking Krishna, please stop walking those like rough pathways. But seeing that there is no result, now their prayer is just like, okay, please remove our attachment for you from our heart. That's the only benediction we want from you. Apart from that, we don't want anything more. We don't want any relation with you anymore because we cannot tolerate this suffering. Not because of us, but because of you. But if we are feeling like so and nothing can change, then why we should feel? So up to now, gopis are in this state of consciousness. So let's see if things will change because gopis' minds are always turning around. When they go to some extreme, is a time to come back to another extreme. This is like a pendulum, Pendulum moves like this from one side to another side. When it reaches the highest point one side, then it is time to come back to the other one. So up to now, gopis are with this mood, but it may change next sentence or next dialogue. So now continue here. Gopi's words are perfectly true. It is only because of attachment that one feels sorrow and pain. And they continue. Our attachment for you is the guilty party. We know that we should have no love and affection for you. But the fact is that we do have it. So what shall we do? Now our earnest prayer to you is that you please remove this attachment from our heart. And Krishna, he may retort, it is your mind and heart. You can cut it out yourselves. I am not responsible for your mind and heart. So Krishna is even harder with them now. To this the gopis reply, Our attachment to you is not our fault. It is yours because you are our beloved and you are so astonishingly attractive. If you were not so affectionate and attractive, we would have no love for you and everything would be all right. You have made yourself so beautiful and such a charming lover that our minds have left us and gone to you. Why have you done that? You alone can remove our attachment because you are now in possession of our mind and heart. Gopis are even more hopeless because even if they want, they can't cut that attachment. It's always in the hands of Krishna. If you want to please us, do not roam in the forest. Come and stay with us. That is the remedy. In each of the verses of Gopi-gita, the gopis pray, please appear before us. So that's their main plea during all Gopi-gita. They want Krishna somehow, by hook or by crook, appear before them. Therefore, they create so many type of arguments and things, and they are speaking out all these things. They are crying out this Gopi-gita. They are singing aloud. At the same time, they're crying, and they are facing all this distress, uh, hoping that Krishna is going to hear this prayer. And he is hearing because he's very nearby, although they don't know about that, but they hope that by singing aloud together, Krishna is going to hear. And they're always asking, please appear before us. In the previous verse, they utter the words dhyana mangalam. The word dhyana generally means meditation. But in the case of the gopis, it simply means that they are remembering Krishna. The gopis' remembrance is not like the yogi's meditation. When they remember Krishna, they forget everything else. Whatever they are doing, whether it is walking, talking, or cooking, they're always immersed in sahaja samadhi, a natural deep absorption in Krishna. The word sahajayate means to come naturally from birth. Their full absorption in anything related to Krishna comes automatically and naturally. You can also see this word dhyana. It also means with full attention. In Bengali, and Hindi also we say, uh, um, please listen with full attention. Um, uh, uh, means with dhyana. So this is the word used by them, dhyana. Dhyan teke shuno means listen with full attention. Dhyan se suniye. Please listen with full attention. So that full attention means completely concentrating your mind in that object which is going to be spoken or whatever. So in this way, gopis, for them to be fully attentive and fully conscious, like remembering, because consciousness means remembrance. When you're fully conscious of someone, means you're remembering that person full time. The gopis, they don't need to sit like yogis with closed eyes and do all types of tapas and exercises to control their minds. No, their minds naturally flow, naturally. Therefore, it is called sahaja samadhi. They naturally flow like a river flowing to the ocean without any endeavor or sacrifice. Gopi's mind flows towards Krishna always, uninterruptedly, just like a river flowing to the ocean, unbrokenly. Srila Vyasadeva had to make some effort to practice bhakti yoga, and in this way he achieved samadhi. The gopis, on the other hand, do not require to practice sadhana bhakti because their hearts are steeped in the prem, that is situated in the highest stages of Mahabhav. They never come out of samadhi. They simply go deeper and deeper into it. Their samadhi deepens when they see Krishna, and it further deepens and thickens as they remember him when he's out of sight. So, like the yogis, they have to exercise and come step by step to the stage of samadhi, and after some time they will come out, and they will come to general consciousness. But Gopi's dhyana is unbroken, Gopi's samadhi is unbroken. And they're actually only increasing, only becoming more strong, more deep. Although it has no more space to grow, it's still growing. Some people are puzzled by this. They wonder which is actually higher, meeting with Krishna or being separated from him. We will understand these topics when we have gained some realization of them. And for now, we can pray to the gopis as Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur and Srila Jiva Goswami have prayed. Neither Brahma nor anyone else can explain these topics without your mercy. One can understand them by your grace alone. So it means that Srila Gurudev is putting very clear. We cannot understand what is higher, separation or meeting, and how these things, all these things happen. We cannot really understand right now. One can understand them by your grace only, only by mercy. If the gopis bestow their mercy upon us, we will become qualified to fully comprehend the true nature of their pastimes, which cannot be understood by intellectual analysis. At present, we must hear these topics so that we can develop a greed to perform Raganuga Bhakti. That's the only thing is required for us now, is a greed. Greed to take part in those pastimes, to serve those pastimes. That's the only thing required right now. The fruit of hearing these topics will be that eventually we will feel that we cannot live without hearing them. At that time, the gopis will bestow their mercy upon us, and you'll be able to appreciate something of their unlimited glory. Right now, we have some taste. A little bit taste we have. Therefore, we are here, reading, listening, studying, trying to understand, trying to assimilate. But even though we are incapable to fully understand, something is coming, and some desire to continue reading is there. To continue hearing is also there. And as it goes like stronger and stronger, then sometime we will see ourselves completely what? Not being able to live without drinking the nectar of these pastimes every day, every time. Every day, every time we will desire to have connection with this. By hearing, by reading, by remembering, somehow we'll be fully dedicated. At that time, when this greed is very condensed, then this mercy can come to us. In one's practice of Vaidhi Bhakti, one performs a Narati ceremony to the deity of Krishna on the temple altar. Shri Krishna already has articles that are millions of times superior to any the aspiring devotee can offer. Yet, out of duty, the devotee offers him articles of worship. He offers a lamp, water in a conch shell, and cloth, and then he offers foodstuffs, but he has no filling. The Vedic scriptures state that even if one performs archana for millions of birds, it is not certain that he will develop a taste for Raganuga Bhakti. However, if a person hears and discusses topics such as Gopi-gita in the association of a Vaishnava who is superior to him, and he practices bhakti under the guidance of that Vaishnava, it is certain that he can develop this taste and greed. This is made even more effective if he associates with a Vaishnava who is Rasik and Bhavuka and who has realized these topics. We cannot imagine the results of such association. In this way, we will understand the topics of meeting and separation. So just what we are doing now. Now we are associated with Srila Gurudev through the book. So Srila Gurudev, he is the one who is Rasik Bhavuka. And under his guidance, by his inspiration, we are trying to dive in this ocean of Raganuga Bhakti. And we should continue. We should continue. Always reading, always discussing, always talking about, always assembling with the devotees, provoking this, bringing out this information, opening the books, reading Gurudev's words, speaking out, discussing, talking, and all this nourishment, it will start to make some effect in our heart. It's like digging, digging this hole in our heart like rock, very hard rock. But by talking, then sometimes some special feeling may appear. Sometimes some insight may come. Some small realizations may also manifest. So by and by, slowly. So therefore, those who are really Vaishnavas, those who don't want to waste their times, they always be in the assembly of devotees who are speaking Harikatha. As Srila Gurudev is mentioning here, you can perform archana in the greatest manner for millions of lives. It's not going to give you any taste, any eligibility for Raganuga Bhakti. But just by hearing this katha, just by studying this book, this is our real sadhana. This is what is going to give us this taste. In the very beginning of our reading of this Gopi-gita, I mentioned that if you have so much taste for chanting Harinam, but have no taste for Harikatha, then very soon that taste for Harinam will stop, gradually, by and by. But if you have no taste for Harinam, but you have taste for Harikatha, then gradually taste for Harinam will manifest and increase, and with solid base, you'll be able to chant with proper mood. Proper mood. I'm not saying that we should only hear and not chant. I'm just saying, this is Srila Gurudev's words, not mine. I'm saying this Harikatha must be there. If you are chanting or not, due to so many reasons, anarthas or anything, but this Harikatha cannot be lacking. This Harikatha must be there all the time. This is our life and soul. This is what is going to nourish us. And we may think, okay, we are unqualified, we are not, in this level. Doesn't matter. Srila Gurudeva gave us this. And if you think about Adhikar, then you are going to Vaidya Bhakti side. Raganuga Bhakti is not looking any Adhikar. And you should really consider, I have no Adhikar, but still I want that. This is greed. This is ingredient for greed. Means I want even though I am not qualified. This is the beginning of this path of Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. Okay? So let us continue here. Just a little more to finish this verse. The following pastime reveals how there can be separation in meeting. Once at Prema Sarovar, an incident took place that impelled Shri Krishna to leave Vrindavan. Means that pastime in Prema Sarovar, that was the cause for Krishna to desire to leave Vrindavan. So everyone must know this and really understand this. Srimati Radhika was sitting on his lap, embraced by his arms, and listening to his loving words. A bumblebee began to buzz close by her, and she became fearful. Krishna's cowherd friend Madhumangal chased away the bee with his stick And returning, he boasted, I have driven Madhusudana away, and he will never come back. Madhusudana means bumblebee, but it is also a name for Krishna. Srimati Radhika heard these words and assumed Madhumangala was saying Krishna will never return. Even though she was sitting on Krishna's lap, she was immediately thrown into an ocean of painful feelings of separation and began to cry out, Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Her agony became so intense that she fainted. This stage of love for Krishna, feelings of separation in meeting, is called Prema Vaichitya. Prema Vaichitya is experienced at the time of meeting, whereas Divyanmad and Chitra Jalpa appear at the time of separation. Divyanmad means divine madness. And Chitra Jalpa means many different types of speeches, different types of varieties of way of speaking during separation. In Prema Vaichitya, Radhika is externally with Krishna, but she feels internally that she is separated from him. On the other hand, in Divyanmad and Chitra Jalpa, when she is externally separated from him, she thinks, now I am with Krishna. Internally, she is fully meeting with him, and this gives joy to her heart. So it means that separation and meeting, there's actually two faces of the same coin, and there is always meeting. That's the main thing. Separation does not exist at all. It's always meeting. Either physical, like proximity, or internally, but it is always a meeting. There is no separation at all, actually. Separation is just a type of momentary cause of another meeting. So therefore, Srila Gurudev always says, don't think that they are suffering. They're not suffering. They're different, manifesting different types of bliss, transcendental bliss, because there is always meeting. So either they are meeting physically together, or either they are meeting internally. So separation does not actually take place. There is always meeting in different ways. So Shri Krishna noted Srimati Radhika's mood in her separation from and meeting with him and taught, Radhika and the gopis feel my presence when we are separated from each other, but sometimes they feel separation from me when I am with them. At those times, there is nothing I can do to help them. Their feelings of separation while meeting bring them great distress. It would be best if I go far away so they can meet me internally. I should leave Vrindavan forever, for it's better that I feel pain so that they will have some happiness. So the idea of separation is very brief, because as soon as that feeling of separation appears, automatically the feeling of meeting manifests. So when Madhumangala speaks, Krishna will never return, Radhika feels, oh, Krishna is not here. But automatically when she feels that, then the sense of meeting comes internally. Understand? So always will be meeting. Very, very brief sense of separation, but always meeting. The gopis feel the same way about Krishna. As long as Krishna is pleased, it does not matter how much sorrow or pain we feel. They feel some consolation after Krishna has gone to Mathura and Dwaraka, and they are in Vrindavan thinking, Krishna is happy with his queens, his sons, and all his other associates. And he also feels joy in meeting with Kubja. Let him be happy. We do not want to disturb him. Similarly, Krishna finds some consolation when he is in Mathura or Dwaraka. He thinks, the gopis are somewhat happy in their feelings of separation. I want their happiness. And they achieve it in those moods and sentiments. If I were to remain in Vrindavan, it is possible that they would experience such separation from me that they would die. These sublime sentiments are especially true of Srimati Radhika, who tastes the separation moods of Divyonmada and Pralapa. Her loving moods have been described in our Acharya's commentaries on Brahmara Gita. The reason the gopis do not die in the anguish of their separation from Krishna is that they think Krishna would be greatly distressed if we were to die. For this reason alone we must remain alive. Likewise, Krishna thinks, if I were to die, the gopis would feel indescribable pain. He and the gopis want nothing but each other's happiness. This is called pure love. So it seems like it's very strange. Don't you feel like so? It's very strange that Krishna thinks that by being separated physically from them, they are actually feeling more pleasure than if he's there. Is it that possible? Is that possible? But that's what has been explained here, right? So how can we understand this? How can physical meeting not be superior to internal meeting? But that's what Krishna is saying. Oh, they're happy thinking that I am there, but I'm not there. They're just waiting for me to come, but in the meantime, they're meeting with me internally. So what is this? Very incomprehensive for Badajivas, very, very incomprehensive, at least for myself. We hear that Krishna left Vrindavan in order to kill Kamsa and to be with Vasudeva and Devaki. But these are only external reasons. The most essential and prime reason was to please the gopis. Moreover, we must consider whether or not he really left Vrindavan. His going to Mathura and killing Kamsa is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 44 and chapter 45, describes the subsequent events as follows. When Krishna and Balaram left Vrindavan and went to Mathura with Akrur, Nanda Baba also went to Mathura. The day after they arrived, Krishna killed Kamsa. Kamsa's brothers fought with Krishna and Balaram killed them all. Later the same day, Krishna reinstated Ugrasen as the king of Mathura in a grand celebration with offerings of flowers and much opulent paraphernalia. Ugrasen had previously been king, but Kamsa had usurped his position. After Kamsa's death, Krishna performed the Abhishek ceremony to again establish him as the king. After Ugrasen was reinstated, all the important members of the Yadu family, such as Vasudev, Devaki, Ugrasen, and Akrur, had a long meeting in which they decided, we must take great care of Krishna, because now that he has killed Kamsa, he will try to return to Vrindavan. Nanda Baba is waiting in a garden on the outskirts of the city. We must do our best to ensure that Krishna and Baladev do not return with him to Vrindavan. We will impress upon them that they are sons of Vasudeva and Devaki, not Jashodananda. Now you can see clearly the difference of the mood. Like how Nanda Baba he will react and how the gopis they reacted by saying, if Krishna is happy in Mathura, okay, let him be happy. We're not going to do anything to stop that. But the inhabitants of Mathura, their love is not perfect. Therefore, they are selfish somehow. Now they want to say, no, we have to make a conspiracy here. And this conspiracy will be to make sure that Krishna will not come back to Vrindavan because it is good for our happiness he stay here. We are not asking what is good for him. We are just asking what is good for us. That's the difference between Mathuravasis and Brajavasis. Accordingly, the members of the Yadu family were very affectionate to Krishna that day. You are the son of Devaki and Vasudeva, they told him, and we are your relatives and family members. Do not think that Yashoda and Nanda are your mother and father, and do not think that your real home is Vrindavan. You actually belong to Mathura, and we are your natural relatives. Meanwhile, Nanda Baba was waiting for Shri Krishna and Balaram Prabhu in his camp outside Mathura. On the evening of the second day, when it had become dark, Krishna and Baladeva approached him. They sat on his lap, one on each side. Why are you weeping? They asked him. But Nanda Baba could not utter a word in response. Understanding his mind, Krishna said, Baba, you are my father. So why are they saying that Devaki and Vasudeva are mother and father? All the Mathura Vasis are trying to persuade us to accept this. During that conversation, Krishna and Baladev and Nanda Baba discussed many related topics. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains in his commentary that everyone wants to live in that place where they receive the most love and affection. Krishna receives so much love from Nanda and Jashoda, whose prem is certainly far superior to that of Vasudeva and Devaki and all the other Mathura Vasis. Why then did he stay in Mathura and not return with Nanda Baba to Braj? According to the rules of Prema, he should have gone with him. But accordingly to Srimad Bhagavatam, he did not do this. What is the Siddhanta or conclusive philosophical truth in this connection? Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur says that Prema has two chambers or prakoshtas. The first is where the manifest pastimes, prakata lila, are performed. And the second is where the unmanifest pastimes, aprakata lila, take place. Whereas in Prakata Lila, Krishna and Baladev did not return to Vrindavan, whereas in Aprakata Lila, they returned. So these are two sides of pastimes going on simultaneously. Always remember this. There is not only one way of Krishna's pastimes. So one is the manifested pastimes, means what he only does in this material world. And the other thing is what is the unmanifested pastime, means what he does in Goloka Vrindavan. These two things are combinedly. Because in Goloka Vrindavan, Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. There is one Krishna for Vrindavan, one for Mathura, one for Dwarka. But in this material world, there is only one Krishna moving from one place to another. So that's the basic difference, okay? So both things are happening simultaneously. Why? Because also eternal pastimes are being manifested and brought down here. Therefore, when Uddhava goes to Braj and he sees Krishna playing with gopis and everything is normal in Vrindavan, he cannot realize and understand if Krishna was there in Dwarka. Then suddenly everything disappears and then he sees like all the desolated place like Vrindavan, everyone feeling separation. Vrindavanam parityaja padam mekam nagachati. Krishna never sets a foot outside of Vrindavan, not a single footstep. This statement refers to Aprakata Lila, in which he is always in Vrindavan. In Prakata Lila, however, he sometimes leaves Vrindavan and sometimes he enters. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has explained that it would be opposed to Bhakti Ras if in Aprakata Lila, Krishna was not always with those who love him the most. So this is the end of the commentary of the 11th verse. It means in Aprakata Lila, Krishna is always with the one who he loves most. Means the Brajesh Krishna is always in Vrindavan. Mathuresh Krishna is always in Mathura. Dwarkadish is always in Dwarka. They're following each other's like natural, no loving exchange with their associates. But in this material world, when Krishna comes, he will manifest in a different way. He somehow will leave one place and go to another place. So, in this way, we conclude here. Hare Krishna.